What's up, everybody? It's Ori from OriBengal.com, where you get to see all my paintings, creationness, and other goofiness come to life. So, I got this painting I just made. I call it... Well, I actually try not to really name my paintings. That's part of my workflow because I like to post them on Facebook and then see what people say and let them battle over what it's called, unless there's one that really speaks to me. Well, so the work in progress kind of name for this one, just so I have to write something when I save the file, is Rocketsledding Downhill. And that's this painting we got here in the frame. So actually I'm going to show you exactly how I made it. And unlike most of my 2-minute, super accelerated playback videos, this one goes at regular speed. I didn't accelerate it. It's me working. It was going to be a 2-minute demo showing just how I come up with an image idea, which I do show here, and then the gist of how I work with it, which I definitely went beyond gist here. And then I was going to show you a totally different application that I use just to come up with ideas and follow in the footsteps of this, but I just really liked where the image was going, so I kept recording. So here's what you got. So enjoy this. Make sure to like this, share this with your friends, leave comments, pin it on Pinterest, and share it on every social media. Show your friends, show your enemies, whatever. And most of all, enjoy. And go to OriBengal.com to see more of my stuff. Alright, so here we are in Art Rage. So I'll just, take a pencil or a brush of some kind. Let's say, I'll just start with a pencil, and I'll start, just making random strokes, and as they kind of remind me of a particular line, a particular angle, maybe something, I can kind of see something being formed. So right now I'm kind of seeing I don't know, and it keeps changing as I draw. So first there's someone kicking, now it's someone on their back laughing. It keeps changing. It could be some kind of animal. So I just keep adding to it and see what happens. And then, maybe it could be an upside down chair. Maybe someone sitting on a sled of some kind. So I'm just kind of randomizing it, and now it's starting to look to me like someone kind of on some kind of a sled or something, and they're flying backwards kind of thing, and here their mouth is open. So now I'm going to match another eye, to this one, define kind of give them some hair flying or whatever. I move the layers palette, so the direction, this whole composition has an angle. So if I'm doing a rock or something, I'm keeping the lines facing outward from the center where this person's volume is pushing down. And things are going this way. Alright, so that's just one thing. The colors that I use, well, it could be anything. I'm thinking a bright blue and white, maybe someone skidding on snow. Alright, so that's kind of how my process is a lot of times. And like I said, I might go in either on the same layer or another layer and, color accordingly. And then, fill in the person. It's funny, you do this enough, you get just way faster at it. I was definitely taking longer in the past to make similar kind of strokes, so think like ski jacket kind of thing. maybe arm out this way, kind of like more flailing because you're like flying out of control. Alright. Right. Go with like a paint roller for the larger area. And that's too much there. Undo action. Oops, too much. And a lot of time, just doing that can also create additional motion. Vary your colors up a little bit, just to make it a little more dramatic. But now we'll go with the white. It's actually using like a gray that way we have a little bit of white that we can use for the things that require like the highlights, reflections. Alright. Sorry, I can't just do a demo of, oh, here's how something works. I gotta actually now go ahead and do this. So I'll do like flying snow kind of stuff. Smaller brush. Again, vary it up, some a little whiter. We'll do a little white here to attract the eye. The eye is going to go to the extreme colors. So we also want to give some reflection. Do we know where the light's coming from? Well, we can decide that. So let's see. Person's going this way. One arm's out this way, flailing. One arm's this way. Alright, so we got that. I forgot the hair. Oops. Okay. Now, the paint roller has generally a kind of flat look to it, which is cool because we don't want to attract too much attention from the face, which is usually what can make or break a painting. Okay, I'm going to go with this black. Actually, I'm going to sample this red and then go a couple shades darker. Go ahead and make our shadow. So I think the light's going to come from up here.
Think you've got an ear for the next big hit? Well, here's your chance to prove it. All you have to do is listen and decide, hot or not. Find out which new releases are destined for chart success and compare your predictions with friends. This awesome free app is waiting for you inside Spotify. Click the banner and predict a hit.
Our song is playing is kind of catchy. I was doing a lot of jogging on a cruise with this.
Call me obsessed, call me insane. Something's creeping through my veins. Eyes cannot see what's underneath. I can't stop and you can't stop me. I'm gonna get the fire started. Impossible for you to breathe. The temperature's rising up so high.
one thing that really dictates surface depth is which shape is overlapping which one. So is the arm coming in front of the breast area or torso? So you can control everything just by which one you work on when, or which shading you apply where. It's darker, it's lighter. Let's see, so I should just like even go. If this is torso, I'm gonna be coming out here. And then coming out this way. See, so half the time I don't have the sketch done ahead of time or anything like that. I'm just kind of basing it on whatever shape and direction the painting took itself, and then trying to base it on like actual human anatomy and shape, which I'm studying now, like looking things up on YouTube, buying books on Amazon on art and anatomy. But it's funny because I originally was not going to show you this. I was going to show you something totally different, which is still open. So I'm just going to show you two different things, I guess. So we're twisting like this because if the breast is here and the knee is here, then the knee should be twisted this way, or the torso is actually being twisted this way towards you, the viewer. And so that means that the back, this particular leg should be up, kind of like twisted that way. So we'll add that, but that would likely be darker, the one in the background. And we also don't require as much detail on it because we want the eyes stuck to the foreground. Right, gorillas. Go in darker. So the front leg comes out a little more. Contrast, uber important. Give her better boots. We'll just do some of the shading kind of spherical. Alright. Back to the top color. And it also always helps you to show the actual shape, like the curve, but breaking it up into visual curves, things that you can actually see, like these little stripes here. They're helping to not only give definition to a form of the shape, like these boot things that I just created for her, but they're actually guiding the shape of the leg. So it just kind of pieces things together. And you don't want to make things, too defined and too busy, so that it's taken away from the actual painting or the foreground. Like these boots aren't too dominant, so that's important to me. Again, on the background one, I'm keeping the details kind of muddled. I'm just showing that they're there. Okay. So we got one leg, we got another leg, got one arm, got another arm, got the face, got the thing. Probably close in some of this. Now that we're using oils, not rollers, then it's really giving the direction of the painting. Again, going back to that angle I was talking about. So I'm shooting everything upwards. Oops. This is an oil brush, so it kind of picks up what's near it. So I'll be careful. So if you pick something up, just cover it up. So I don't mind the streaks I'm picking up from the snow-colored stuff anyways, because they're just helping to give momentum, movement to the image. This image I want movement on, so sometimes you don't. So you might want to use a more steady brush, something keep your lines more uniform. Find me on Spotify if you like these tunes that I got playing in the background. I got couch surfing Ori's beats to couch surf to, I believe is what I call it. I'm trying to listen to something cool. Always grooming this list. And music helps a lot when you're painting, by the way, because, you know, it can enhance your mood. If you're sad, you put on some sad music. You want something spacey? That's spacey music. That's the leg, that's the torso. Now I'm actually cleaning up the shape a little bit, not just closing in the gaps. Oops. Here. Now I'm giving it a little actual depth, oil painting, so it looks like, well, oil paintings. Not just the way it blends the colors, but it actually gives it this little depth, which is really cool. This is one reason I like ArtRage so much, although there are many other software that allow you to do it. It's just a very inexpensive app. I think I paid $60 for it, and like $5 for the iPad version, and it's fairly rad. It takes what you do on the iPad, records it, and you can play it back in a larger size.
'Cause you are all yellow. I drew a line. I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn to something beautiful. For you, I bleed myself dry. For you, I bleed myself dry.
Need to highlight here on this side if the light is coming from up here. The highlights really help define where the light's coming from, as well as the shape of things. Now, not every highlight should be as bright of a white, so since this surface is red, bright red expresses it just fine. In fact, this is super bright now, which could be cool. See, that adds a lot of depth actually, so I like that. Now it's the boobs popping off the page. Always a good thing, right? Alright, let's start filling this arm in a little bit. Wasn't really doing that.
Ever wondered what it'd be like to have Spotify Premium? Now you can find out with our free 30-day trial. For 30 wonderful days, you'll have full, ad-free access to pretty much all the world's recorded music on your computer and your cell phone. Any track, anytime. Just click the banner to try Spotify Premium for free. You've got nothing to lose. But
I'm not worried about coloring outside the lines, because I just kind of paint over it. So I'm really just trying to express shapes, direction.
For a second there, I thought you disappeared. Rains a lot this time of year. We both go together if one falls down. I talk out loud like you're still around. No, no. And I miss you. I'm going back home to the West Coast. I wish you would put yourself in my
Suitcase.
I love
Gonna try playing this one on the piano a little bit.
in a black coat. I miss you. I'm going back home to the West Coast. And if you shake your heart, I know she will feel. Tonight I think I'll be staying here. And you never did like this town. I talk out loud like you're still around. No, no. And I miss you. I'm going back home to the West Coast. I wish you would put yourself in my suitcase. I love you, standing all alone in a black coat.
Alright.
Miss you. I'm going back home.
It's got a lot of movement. We just need to add a little bit. There's a couple spots here. Now that we can actually create shapes in the background, little mountains or trees or whatever. It's blue on blue, so you're not, so here, let's say I want to do a tree, right? Do a tree shape. It's more like an implied tree, it could be tree, could be part of the mountain. So it's not that important. You're just showing that there's something there. And again, because it's this oil looking thing that's got depth, just really breaks up the background, gives us more motion, more depth, more stuff without being a huge distraction, because it's really just grabbing the colors that are already on the background. And the front is just like a giant splash with a darker color. This thing. So the snow would actually be kind of bluish, because it would be reflecting the sky. If the sky is blue, it should be a little brighter. We need to add something. She's got to be sitting on something. Make it a bright yellow color, just so we have something. Apollo 440, talking about love. Sorry, talking about dub. Alright, drawing this thing, it's a little bit off where the ground is here. You know, go figure if you're hauling ass down the snow, which I guess is what's going on here. Alright, so this side's in shadow. So let's take this, darken. So let the shadow from the person. A lot more shadow up close to this. And then we're just applying that the shape wraps around a little bit. Maybe it's got a little jet fire coming out of it. There's a chair with a little chair rocket kind of thing. White is usually the hottest something gets, and you got like the red and yellows. So cool. Maybe like a tiny bit of like a darker like black, but you want it to kind of be like in the background. So that's like smoke that was already let off by this. And then just to kind of unify the image, I'm going to go back with that smoke color and just scatter it throughout some of the shadows. Just a little hack I came up with that just kind of ties everything together. If you have the same colors appearing throughout the image, it just kind of gives it a little extra harmony. Alright. That looks good. We got one leg, two leg, one arm, two arm. Face and hair needs a lot of work still. And the snow is incomplete. Let's go in super bright and blue here, because so the light's up there. I'm doing these little round shapes now, kind of implying that there's a whole bunch of dunes. So the ones below this would be darker. Shoving snow aside, so we want the snow. Now we want to make that splash back that was gone before, and now it ain't just implied shapes. Now it's actually the brush strokes got to show that this is the direction that this would displace this. Now our little blurry shapes, abstract implication things are still there. This just goes over to them. So together they're creating a real good sense that things are going this way. And this is why we're keeping bright white open. So now when we do it here, we gotta work it a little bit, but it should show up over all this stuff. Throw some hair on there. I guess I'm doing black, so it reflects a little of the blue, and I actually chose a black that's got a little tiny hint of blue. You never want to use 100% black. Some of my buddy Joe taught me, like, in 9th grade, he told me, I seem to remember it. So there is no true black in nature. So maybe like a black hole or something. Everything else is actually reflecting light. It might not be reflecting a lot, so everything's got like a little bit of a color to it. So it's pretty cool looking. This black is the darkest thing on here, so it's going to attract a lot of attention. So we might want to go in and like get little shadows in the areas that are going to need shadows, so that they get a little bit of attention as well, not just the hair. So if your interior eyes should be kind of open wide, remember they're actually tilted, that face is tilted here, so Just kind of look down and forward. Pupils would be small because you'd be in fear. So the pupil would be dilated likely. Let's go grab a red from here. Bottom lip, we'll grab a brighter pink red because the bottom is closer to where the light is, so this side should be a little bit brighter. Do a little bit of a gray for some teeth. Actually, we'll do that up here. Eye a little bit. Let's go back in with the dark color again in a sec.
Hello, users of Tumblr. Now, it's as easy to share the music you like as it is your thoughts and pictures. With a simple right click, you can embed
Here,
Spotify
a
tracks
darker
and
dark
playlists straight into your Tumblr.
is not a bad idea because the eyes really often are. They're very focused.
Effortless soundtrack to your blog. Click the banner to get your own Spotify play button.
Make it dark. Alright, so I'm going with full dark.
Hello,
If it's
Spotify
not loading up,
users.
if you're not seeing it that well on the oil, then you can always go in with another tool like pencil or something else, and
Just download our app and start enjoying
you know, there we go. Now we got black. It's not being pulled in with the texture. Alright. Nostrils would be flaring. Probably have an eyebrow. Probably wouldn't be that far from the eye. Here. Let's go back in oil. Kind of like this yellow. These warm colors go well with the red of the suit, so we'll do orange instead. This color kind of looks cool for shadows, so let's shadow side to the face. eye area is actually recessed into the skull a little bit, so I'm just darkening that out. And then we'll take this color, brighten it a little bit. Okay, go back in with black again. So black reflects a little greener, just to kind of break up this black. I'm gonna go in with thinner strokes. Although, from what I've learned, a lot of times what's really cool to do with hair is to get clusters, like a large chunk of the hair, and then another chunk of the hair that's going a different way, and then another chunk of the hair, and then another one going the other way, and they cross each other, and that just kind of gives it a lot more depth, and also helps you control the shape, because you know the hair has a shape that it's flowing in. Which right now is going this way. And voila. So now we just shape it around that. Later, dude. More color here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, I wasn't do hair streaks, but I think that would look too much like Bride of Frankenstein, kind of. So we'll just do a couple more of these clumps. Put something a little brighter here. If it's fire, it'd be bright. Boom. I want to feel that. I'm using a Wacom Intuos 3, which is a pressure sensitive stylus. That means the harder I push, the darker the line is. But even if you're not a pressure sensitive one, you still want to feel the direction that you're brushing and moving things in. It just gives it, oops, I just pushed the wrong button. Alright, for the undo button. So the tricep actually, the torso, pectoral muscles actually go from here into the tricep. And then there's the shoulder, and then the arm, the bicep, the tricep. Alright, so. Alright, pretty happy with it. Maybe a little more stuff here, just randomness to give it a little more depth. Give it a little more attention here, because right now all the attention is right here. This is where all the detail is, all the colors, all the variation. So I'm just kind of varying things up here a little bit. Maybe go with like a really pale green. Little tree kind of shape back there. It's the way you lie. Well, Bob Ross would say a pretty little tree, or maybe something about a lonely cloud, or a little bit of a tree. I never actually watched any of his videos, but MTV used them in their commercials. PBS recently commissioned Melody Sheep, which is an auto-tune genius, to make a song. It's a remix of Bob Ross clips. This thing is a work of art. See these trees here? They're so dark and the green is so bland. I chose one that it blends into the blue there. They're really not bringing attention to themselves, but they add a bit of a background element to help tell the story. This is, in a denser area. It's got trees. And the green will kind of work for the shadows here on this thing, so we can use it to embed it on here. I think what might look kind of cool if we take, again, more on the play on red and just do like a couple of lines, or, whether it's lights or part of the detail of this thing. It just makes it look more sophisticated. Maybe these are lights. It also ties the colors together. Again, the more you do that, the more awesome everything is. So I think some of the snow would actually be reflecting the yellow. So there's going to be like a little tiny bit of yellow on the snow. And you already know, don't eat yellow snow. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I usually like to go show the layers, view, layer panel, make a new layer. I like to sign on a different layer, because if I post digitally and it's got my signature, that's fine. If I do a print, I like to not have my signature on it digitally, so that I can sign it with a brush, a marker, a whatever. I need a color that works better. Let's go with black. Make the brush a little thicker. There we go. If I go with a thin brush, it just doesn't show. Alright, that looks pretty cool. So there you go. That's how I think. Oops. There you go. Now you can see everything. So there's our finished piece. Now I just export it and upload it. And if I was smart, since I thought I was just going to show you a quick couple brush strokes and that's it, I didn't record it. So I'm kind of an idiot, because what I should have done is recorded it, then I can play it back at a size that's really worthy of reprinting, because I really like this image. It's pretty darn cool. Alright, that's it. So, for more stuff, check out OriBengal.com, and for my goofy adventures and marketing tips, go to couchsurfingori.com.